We on!
Yes, DJ Noble here with y'all for another episode of Off the Grid. This is definitely a special episode today. It's called Who Counts the Bars, featuring ladies of CHH, and glad to have y'all on.
Yes, sir.
Yay! Thanks for having us.
No doubt. If y'all could just introduce yourself, tell us how you got into hip hop, who are your influences, where you're from, all that good stuff. Let's start with that.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Porsha Love. I am from Detroit, East Side, period. I live in Atlanta. I've been rapping literally all my life. Some of my influences are Eve. I love Pink. I love Willow. I love Nicki Minaj. And of course, the Holy Spirit. Okay, yeah. So I'm excited to be with you guys today and talk about women in Christian music.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Ty Scott King. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, raised in America, lived all over the world, lived all over the country, but currently based in Jacksonville, Florida. Been doing Christian hip hop since the late 90s, early 2000s, and influences Lauryn Hill, BDP came up in that time. You know, they was some Jamaicans, so that was a big thing in my house. And Christian hip hop, Dice Gamble, you know, I've just got those Dice out there. She's my girl, and just all the ladies here. Yeah.
So,
Amen. Dope. I am Verb, and what it do? I'm from Texas, real country, but man, I've been rapping since I was 8. Long time. I'm real old now, so but my influences now for Christian music, because I've been doing it since 2023, is the Bible. I'm gonna be real honest, it's the Bible. I like listening to other artists, but man, I really draw my inspiration from the Bible.
so
What's up, everybody? My name is Solachi Voz. Born in North Carolina, raised in Indiana, and now I live in Cali. Been rapping since 03. Shout out to my OG Excalibur. He had just moved from Harlem straight to Indiana and handed me a CD of beats and said, you write into this. So that's how I got started. My early influences, I didn't listen to rap at all growing up, but I was real big into like Twyla Paris and Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith. That makes no sense at all, but don't judge me.
Now that's dope.
And also just classical music, you know, Tchaikovsky, Bach, all that kind of stuff. So
doesn't sound like hip hop at all.
it happens.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so since we're talking about female MCs, I'm gonna chime in too. I'm gonna talk about female MCs that I thought were dope. I'm a you know, BDP, Ty, you talked about that. So we're gonna keep it in New York. So we'll talk about MC Light real quick. Definitely, to me, like one of the dopest female MCs out there on record. Also, since Porsha, you're from Detroit, right? So if you heard Boss.
Who?
Boss.
That's a person?
Yeah, she was a beast. Like,
she must be. That was before me. I know about Cash Doll. I don't know who Boss is.
Boss, like,
that's a little old.
She was dope. Like, she was real dope. She was real dope. Now,
was
I mean,
she,
look her up.
secular?
I'm not saying she was on that gangster type music.
Well, I mean, yeah, most Detroit rappers are. So I haven't heard of her though. Wow.
That drill.
There's a song called, like, I'm not promoting. I don't want y'all to get me wrong. I'm not promoting secular hip hop, right? You know what I'm saying, but she had a song called Deeper that was just like, just real dope. Like, it was like mid 90s. You know what I'm saying? She had like a.
Oh, I definitely. Yeah. I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I mean, I know like, Spring Chicken, but I definitely wasn't listening to her.
Yo, look, if I can compare it to anybody, she sounded like she was from LA though. Yeah,
you know, we get a lot of comparison to they both rap off beat.
Yeah. I think like that's kind of a Midwest thing too. Just yeah. in general. In general. All right, ladies. So look, there was a post. This is what really influenced me. I was like, yo, where do I go with the next Off the Grid? Because I've really been wanting to do this for a while. I put it on the shelf for a second. I knew I was gonna come back pretty soon, but I wanted to like really like, man, where do I go? I don't know what to do. Obviously recently I've been kind of busy, as Ty Scott King would know. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing some things, recording some music, dropping some videos. But so I kind of stuck on that for a minute, but I was like, I gotta get back into this. So there was a post, Porsha, that you had that I guess you had maybe on your personal site, and then it kind of got drawn in. Is that right? To Proper Excel?
Yeah, it was on Threads.
It was on Threads. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you said something like, so I'm gonna quote you a little bit here. It says, stop
Okay.
doing things excluding women in CHH if you don't want me in your comment section. So guess what? Not only did we bring you to a comment section, we brought you to a podcast. So go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to my ladies, period.
Yeah.
I am one thing about me, I've always been a girl's girl. So I love being a woman, and I am a true girl's girl. Okay. I'm not the type of girl's girl that's gonna let you stay toxic. Okay. I'm not gonna agree with everything that you got going on. I'm gonna let you know, sister, that's wrong. Okay. But I love being a woman. I love sisterhood, and I love justice. I'm very big on justice being served across the board. I was the type of kid in school who would like bully the bullies. Don't talk to him like that. Stop messing with him. Stop. Like that was me, I just don't like people being done wrong, So when God saved me, I wasn't always doing Christian music. I didn't even know it existed. But when I found Christian music, I noticed that there was a lack of women in the space. And there was a lack of women that reminded me of myself. Like I didn't see anyone that I could necessarily like just see myself in. And I didn't like that. And I knew that they were out there. It's like, well, why aren't they getting those opportunities? So I have been going to bat for us for a very long time. I be falling out with, and I don't care about the artists. I don't want to talk to them. I want to talk to the companies. I want to talk to the people who, have the social media platforms. I want to talk to the people who have the festivals and have the events, who have the leverage to, increase artists' careers. So that is what my threads was towards. It was towards a particular post I saw of a media outlet, which I won't say their name. We talked privately after the fact. They knew that I was talking about them, but nobody knows who I was talking about. Okay. But they made a post and they were basically shouting out some undiscovered Christian rappers, and there was no women on the lineup. And it's 2026. I'm tired of y'all doing that. If you're going to be a part of this community, you need to be a part of the community. You cannot mention Christian hip hop without mentioning women. And I'm going to be in your comment section every time. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to be like, well, where the women at? It ain't got to be me. I ain't saying book me. Book somebody. And make sure you book somebody that look like me. Because just because you book a woman, it's like, okay, well, now we need some diversity. Okay, that's great. I love, that's wonderful. Now go a little deeper. Okay. So I have definitely fell out with a lot of your faves. And I don't care, because we deserve to be given the opportunity. So
Got you.
Yeah.
I hear that loud and clear. Ladies, would y'all like to chime in? Anybody else?
Absolutely. First, I love that, Porsha, that you're not just going and saying, okay, I want to target the artist. Like it's a step above that. And like I said, I've been in, I guess, call it the game since 2003. It's like flyer after flyer. Like it's not new. You know what I mean? And there's obvious snubs that happen, with like all these countdowns that happen every year and all these lists, which nobody really cares about because we're all doing it for the glory of God. But like, yeah, it's just the amount that we have to advocate for ourselves is kind of getting ridiculous. But at the same time, what I would like to highlight and bring up is that some of these spaces aren't even safe for women. A lot of times there are men in these spaces that are extremely predatory, and there's nothing being done about that. There's this overdose of grace that we have going on. So instead of holding people accountable and saying, hey, you got this, that, and the other going on. We know about it. Yes, we're going to cover you. But at the same time, you need to take accountability for your actions. And we need to do what we need to do to make this a safe space for women to even be in. And so a lot of times there's two routes that get taken. It's either, hey, we're just going to have a all bros fest lineup. You know what I mean? So we don't have to worry about that. Or we're just going to, like I said before, just take it the other direction and hope nobody calls us out, because now we have 3 people on the lineup who have done things they haven't repented for and are still engaging in behavior that is extremely unsafe and misogynistic for women to even be added to. So it's both sides of the coin. So it's like, if we're going to be added to the environment, then it needs to be safe. There needs to be accountability, and there need to be people who are willing to whistle blow and guide and disciple more men in a position that's going to help them foster environments that's safe for us to even be at.
Wow. That's good. That's deep.
Yeah, I agree with everything both of y'all have said so far. I have had many conversations. Noble, you were like, I didn't know these conversations were going on. For decades, I've been having these conversations with other women in Christian hip hop, and I came into the space as a poet. So in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was living in LA and featured on a guy's album, and he was a Christian rapper. And I only knew a handful of Christian rappers. So I didn't know it was like this big global thing until I moved to Atlanta. And I'm grateful that the people that I met were like literally some of the pioneers of Christian hip hop in Atlanta, and God just put me in those spaces. But I was very protected by the men that were in that circle. And so I'm grateful for that. But I definitely saw a lot of crazy stuff, like with women that I was meeting along the way. They were like, I can't record because every time I try to go record, this guy's hitting on me, or he's telling me I need to sleep with him to record. So every time I had an opportunity, it was like, okay, come to this space. Like, I know this is a safe place. You can record here, you can do your thing. But there were so many women that I met throughout these decades that are like, I just don't have a safe space to go to because there's constantly a problem with me trying to, do what I do. So.
Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff I didn't know. Like I said, I've been here since 2023. I came from the secular side, but having a 16-year break in music. So I haven't experienced that level of anything, but what I have experienced is more so from men is like just the cold shoulder. Like they become your friends when they figure out your talent, but then they ain't your friends when they figure out you're more talented than what they feel like than they are. And and that right there is just like it'd be heartbreaking, because I know y'all know, as women, like, we're real nurturing, we're real inviting, real loving. So you become like real close to these dudes and be like, oh, that's my brother and blah blah blah. And then one second your brother is promoting you, and he's posting you, he's in your comment section, he's liking your post, and in the next section you ain't seen your brother in a long time, but he on everybody else's stuff, all these other dudes that ain't got no talent. And I'm not talking about this is just for talent wise, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all all experienced that. And I'm just like, man, like, I feel like with music, especially when we're doing music for God, like I said, I took a 16-year break. I never even thought I was going to rap anymore. And yeah, I just allowed God to heal me from everything that I was going through. Like, I went and apologized. I was apologizing to people. I mean, all of these different things. So when I came to do what God wanted me to do as far as like ministering by way of music, I had my life was full of joy. It was full of the Holy Spirit. And so I wasn't on like no jealousy type stuff, no envy type stuff, no, like, let's just keep it cliquey. I'm like, man, is this not God's stage? And are we not all sharing his stage if we are his? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just where I'm coming from. This is like, go in the if don't come from a situation and just be like, I'm finna go get on the stage. And just because this is not a place where you have keepers of the door saying that hey, you need to go get healed before you come and try to minister to anybody, because your ministering is your music is ministering to people. So go get healed before you do that. But instead of that, they see, oh, this is an easy way in. And so often you see people, especially, and I'm talking about dudes, you see them come in because this is an easy avenue, and then they all of a sudden leave. Oh, I'm not doing Christian rap no more, and they doing something else. But you didn't got all of this many, these followers in the church. And I'm just like, man, like, go get healed so that you don't treat people. You don't be a hurting person that hurt people. Because as women, like, we're gonna feel that. And we, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody saying, let us be at the forefront of nothing, but don't push us out. We out here doing stuff too.
Yes.
I've had conversations about like tours, like, okay, so why do you think there are no women on this tour? Like, my friends and I have literally sat down trying to like untangle it and figure it out. Like, okay, do they think they're gonna, are the wives, is it an issue with the wives? I have a husband, I don't want this guy, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what is it them who think they're gonna slip? Like, what is the problem? But again, I was in a group with 2 guys and then 1 guy, so I was shielded from so much stuff for so many years until I went solo. But I've just seen it over and over and over again for literally decades, and I don't know what the solution is, because I tell my husband all the time, just like Porsha was saying, I saw this flyer and I'm like, okay, all these guys, should I say something? Okay, I'm gonna hold off. Then I see another flyer, all these guys. I'm like, what is going, like, y'all couldn't find one woman, not one in this whole city, state, country that could be on this lineup. I'm like, do they think that we're not good enough? And just, to your point, like, once they hear me rap, they're like, okay, I thought you were just quiet, you got your glasses, you in the back, and I know what to expect. Now it's like a thing. I've been the only woman in so many spaces, and I'm just like, look, I don't want it to just be me. So I had to go out and like search and find other women. And I did find that there were a lot of women doing Christian hip hop, but it wasn't because the guys were telling me. It's because I was out searching.
Yeah, same. I mean, I 100% didn't know that any women existed in Christian rap. I'm so sorry. I did not know. And that's ridiculous.
Sad.
Yeah, no, that's very sad. So I just, as it was popping up on my algorithm, and then some of the women came and followed me, I will follow them back and, support them or whatever. But that's how and that it shouldn't be like that, because I do see on the other side, where the men, they are promoting their homeboys and, the people that's in their group or whatever. But then, you behind closed door, you calling me sis. And then in front of people, I ain't on the lineup, and I'm not begging you, because understand this. I serve a God that kick down doors. If he want me in the room, he know how to open it down. If he don't want me in the room, he gonna keep it locked. And he knows how to open up the door that he wants me to go in. So I'm not worried about any of those things. In fact, I think as women, I mean, we see all the camaraderie, but it's a lot of other stuff going on with the men. Like, it's camaraderie, but you see a lot of infighting. But with women, what I would love to see more camaraderie, as far as like us coming together and saying, okay, let's throw, like Solachi said, that was on my mind too. Let's throw a women's festival. Let's start doing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And not just trying to shun them, or let's make a lane.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's build that table.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, if you don't have a place to sit, you know what I mean? God gave us trees.
Yeah.
You don't complain about not having no wood. Just cut something else down and sit at that. And it's not, like I said, it's not a division statement, but it's more so like understanding the value of what we bring to the genre. And what I wanted to touch on is, as we begin to unify more purposefully, that creates a lane for discipleship, because it's very important. Like, everybody here has said it. Like, we could not for the life of us find any other women in this space when we first started. And so it's super important that if we're going to successfully pass the baton, so to speak, then there needs to be a lane of like discipleship. And I feel like that comes from intentional unity. That was the whole reason why, there's been a lot of development, especially now here, like in Sacramento and the Bay Area in general. You'll see a lot of artists who aren't performing at other people's shows, because that unity makes an intentional lane for other people to come in and be like, okay, I see myself in this person, like Porsha was saying. being able to link with somebody who looks like you, has similar experiences to you, and knows how to navigate the same, lanes that you are. And so that I think that's super key.
Yeah. Can I add to that too?
Yeah.
I First of all, this is so good. Okay. I got so many things to say, but I think it's a few different issues. Um, First, I want to say I was protected too. So when I came into the space, it's a lot of things I didn't experience. A lot of people took me under their wing. A lot of people little sis me, even if I was older than them. Like I was and I still am very protected by a lot of the brothers in the space. Like we are family and I've known a lot of them for years. And now that I'm married, it's like now my husband is like their brother. I'm a sister to their wives, so like God has always allowed for me to have community with the right people and be protected by the right people. My issue was always the people in power. And a lot of people look at the artists of like, oh, let me send my music to this artist. Let me whatever this artist. The artist can't do
They can't do
much
nothing.
for you. I promise you. The don't believe the hype. It's get to the manager, get to the people who actually own some stuff, get to the A&Rs, get to the labels, get to the people who actually own their festivals. Like those are the people that you want to be in contact with. But that's neither here nor there. For me, I have always been like I've never been afraid to come up against what I didn't think was right in terms of like labels or media outlets or people who own festivals or whatever. So I think that the problem with women being on tours or what in general, I think the it first started off with, is this going to sell? Okay, so this is a business at the end of the day. Like, yes, we love the Lord. We're doing ministry. Some people are just doing this because it's just they're called to do it just for ministry. Some people are doing this because they are feeding their families. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these labels are looking like, okay, well, is this going to sell? And for so long in Christian hip hop, it was a cookie cutter standard of what a Christian rapper looked like. He was white. He could pack out a youth event. He, even if he was black, he could pack out a white evangelical youth event. Okay. Yeah. So then you have the standard of what Christian hip hop should look like. Then you have all of these hood people come in and it's like, oh, what do we do with these people? And then not we didn't get to the women yet, but it's like okay, and then you have other, then you have the Spanish, the Hispanics, the Latinos, the Latinas, they come in as okay, this is a different version of Christian hip hop, so it's like, well, what do we do with these people? And then you have the women, and it's like, okay, well, what do we do with them? So I feel like because Christian hip hop is still such a new infrastructure, unfortunately women, we have gotten the shorter end of the stick and we have had to work twice as hard to be considered equal. I do think that it's just an infrastructure problem of they haven't seen women do what we're doing. So they don't know that it can sell. When me and Anike did Don't Worry About It, I had to fight for that song. Okay, first of all, I had to fight for the video of the song. I had to, like, I knew it was a hit. I'm like, y'all, we don't, we have to put a budget behind it. No, it's okay. The label downplayed the record. They didn't think it was gonna blow up. And then it got released and it blew up and it went viral and it went crazy, but that's God. And now they're like, oh, well, let's put a budget behind it because they see that it's going to make money. They see that there's a lane for that. They see that, oh, this is actually a desired thing. There was no data for that before. So now it's like, oh, the data is making sense. This is going to make us money. Who wants to put on a tour and nobody is going to show up? Yes, souls are being saved, but it's only 5 people there. We could have had this on Zoom, respectfully. I could have stayed in my bed for that, okay? So
not Zoom.
If we could have did this on FaceTime. It just came down to data, you know. And then another thing, and then I'll pass it on. Another thing it comes down to is, what is it, Lord? Okay, it's data, but it's also proximity. A lot of these people who are in power are not women in Christian spaces, so they don't think of us. Like Sis was saying, how women are nurturing and we think of certain things. Like if we're throwing an event, we're gonna think about the details. We're gonna think about, oh, people are probably gonna need water. Oh, we need to make sure that the bathrooms are gonna be clean. Oh, we need to make sure that there are parking. Men don't think like that. They think event, have it. Okay. They think about the end result, and women think about the details of a thing. So a lot of these teams, a lot of these systems don't have enough women like behind the scenes to say, oh, we should probably have female representation. And because some men, not all, but some men in music or in general idolize the opinions of other men, that's why they're not calling you, because they want their boys to be on it.
Yeah.
They want the validation from their boys to be on it instead of having the women of God on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has a lot to do with a lot of different systems that we should break down. That we should not be struggling with this in 2026. There is data proving that women can sell out shows. There is data proving that we can rap better, just as good, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like there's data for that. And all I'm saying is people need to be intentional. When I made that thread, I was talking about a new media outlet. If you're new in this space, get with the program. You need to catch up, Mustard, because we've been talking about this. Put the women on. We should not be talking about this in 2026.
Thanks. I remember back in
And then-
2013, I went on my first national tour. Shout out to the Extreme Tour. Love y'all. And I remember asking them, yeah, they still doing their thing. I remember asking them, I was like, I don't see that many co-ed tours in the Christian space. And they were just like, yeah, you know, I talked to the executive director and he was like, a lot of reason why that happens is because they don't want to spend the extra budget on the separate accommodations.
Yes.
And I was like,
Wow.
That's it.
Mhm.
That's it. A bill to separate. I said, oh, okay. But he wasn't lying. And he was keeping it a buck with me. Of course, they were not of that mindset because I went, you know what I mean? And there were several other young ladies on that tour. And we traveled for 3 months. And there was always accountability with accommodations. But a lot of organizations, they just don't see it as, like Porsha was saying about the money and the business aspect. They're like, yeah, no, we're not spending the extra money on a separate, you know what I mean, accommodations for you. Sorry. You're going to have to sleep in your car.
Wow, that's dope. Ladies, we got to keep this conversation going. I do want to add something. I will say this, like, I think music, just like anything, is a business. And a lot of people don't want to take the risk. But I love the way, Porsha, you said that you were persistent in the things that you did. And really, the only reason at this time, like I said, I kind of just slid back into the game not too long ago. So I knew a lot of people. I knew a guy named Doc Watson, who y'all probably know too, from Reflection Music Group. And I went down to the Double Wars and I hit up Doc. I said, man, I got to get into that showcase. And that's when I saw you, Porsha. I was like, yo, she's dope. Well, I knew Anike was dope too. And I hadn't heard of you before either. So the fact that, you know, Doc put you on, I was like, I was
shout
really
out to Doc.
excited about that. Shout out to, Lee Vossi too, like really looks out. He really looks out for y'all, man, in that sense. So, I mean, there's guys out there that do their thing and do believe in y'all too. And I'm one of them too. So like, even my perspective earlier was, early in this career was as a DJ, as a host, radio host. And I always look for diversity. You know what I mean? Like, so I was always looking for the female MC. Even as a kid growing up, as a teenager, a young adult, I was always looking for a dope female MC. Just because y'all bring something different to the table. It's your voice, it's the, you know, what you represent. I mean,
the passion,
the wordplay that the guys probably wouldn't even think of or even understand. Like, that's the other thing. I think sometimes with music, when it comes from a female's perspective, guys don't really understand it. You know what I mean? It's just like for instance, Eminem doesn't get the credit that he deserves in a sense because he talks about things that people just don't understand. People that love hip hop music don't understand unless you're a middle-aged white guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of understand what he's saying, but a lot of it, nobody else does. So like even he was kind of that risk, and when he proved himself, then he got that notoriety. But sometimes you got to find that lane, and I think each one of y'all are doing just that in your presentation. I mean, Verb, I heard of you because I was going through submissions from Track Stars. You know what I'm saying? Like for my indie music podcast that I do in Indie Bunker. I was like, yo, I'm just looking for dope MCs, dope songs. That's all I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? And there's a pile of submissions that they give us all the time, and we got go through them all. And like I was like, yo, she's dope. Let me highlight her. So and Ty, I've known you for forever. So I just found a radio drop that you did for me like years ago. I won't say how many years ago, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just dope. It's just dope, the relationship from a DJ perspective. And that's why I said, man, on the Proper XL post, I was like, man, I've seen tremendous growth, which there has been tremendous growth in Christian hip hop for ladies. But yeah, we need more of the backstory, and that's what we're here for. So if y'all just want to comment on that, and let's move on.
Yeah, I think that Christian hip hop in a lot of ways still follows secular hip hop. So it's like, okay, we got our 2-3 women that we platform. Christian hip hop has kind of followed that same game plan, I guess. And it's frustrating because it's like, okay, we want to say we're different, but we're still modeling so much off of the secular side that it's disappointing. And in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, there was a Christian women's network. I can't remember. I know it was someone up in like the Midwest that she started it. I can't think of her name right now, but I mean, we had women connected from all over the world, literally. And it was just so dope to like, say that again.
Was it Mahogany Jones?
No, it wasn't Mo. It wasn't Mo. It was I cannot think of her name. Like I can see her face, but I can't think of her name. She was definitely from the Midwest somewhere though.
Kiwi?
But
Kiwi.
No, it wasn't Kiwi. That's my girl. It wasn't Kiwi. It was. Yeah. I'm a certain. My brain is gonna pull it up at some point. I think if we can get something. Say it again.
As soon as we get off the air, right?
Right. If we get something like that going again, not to exclude the guys, but it's like, okay, you got your group chats. I got a family group chat with all my siblings. Then we got one with my dad. Then we got one with my stepdad. Then we got one with the brothers. Got one. It's like it's a group chat. We got to think about it that way. And it's not about saying y'all can't come over here, but we got to take care of ourselves at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I just make it super duper personal. I just keep going. Like I've been discovered by so many people. I've never like purposefully tried to do anything. I've never asked for a show, never done any of those things. The Lord said your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. So the gifting that he had put within me, not my talent, but my gifting, that gift of knowledge, the gift of wisdom, those giftings have put me before people, and they've had to put me on stuff. And I mean, like even this was just a door that got open. Like you didn't know me from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? But it's just been like that. I just seen God open up doors that can't no man shut, and shut doors that no man can open. And no matter what, I just continue to go. And it just it's a huge snowball effect. I've gotten to meet people. I'm sure all of you guys have that. You're just like I shouldn't be here. You know, not in and of my own strength. I should not be here. But I'm very grateful. So like I said, I haven't, much like you ladies have said, since I came in, I've been protected as well. I'm married. I've been married for a long time. So I've had my husband. So nobody has tried anything with me. I've just more so seen like the attitude towards female rappers or female artists. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of feel like an accessory sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, this is it's 20 men on the lineup and this one woman, and I'm like, dang, I'm a purse at this point. I don't want to be nobody's
You ain't
Gucci
even
bag.
a purse, you a sock.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that. So, because they're just like, I have to throw a woman on there or else. And you know, man, just understand from the inception of this world, God looked at Adam and said, nah, not you by yourself. You need a woman, right? And that
Yeah.
woman brought everything that man needed. Like she was
Hey, my wife tells me that all the time.
yeah, and she needs his help. You know, she's his help me. So I mean, I feel like likewise, wherever there's always been men, God has always put women. You know, Miriam was right there in the midst of it all. She messed it up, okay, but she was right there in the midst of it all. You know, with her brother. And I'm talking
Yeah.
about just women throughout history. God has always highlighted women. It even said wherever the story is told, her name gonna be mentioned. You know, like it's so if God feels that way about us, and God didn't make nothing whack, so don't think that we're lesser than you. That's all I'm trying to say. We're
Yeah.
not lesser than our performances are not lackluster, and none of those things. We're not lesser than you because God didn't make a 1A and 1B. God is A1 and everything that he does. So I mean, like, get that out of your head. Just like it's the alphabet. You can use it, so can we. You know what I'm saying? Just get it out of your head that, oh, this is a female or whatever. Oh, we gotta throw a female on there. If it's the kingdom and then you see that this woman is like she really talented. I'm not talking about like you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just invite everybody, but you see somebody who's really anointed, who's really talented and know how to do this thing. Don't shut the door.
Yeah.
I mean, you shut the door to your own hurt because where you won't, God is gonna find a bunch of doors to open for them. So don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just treat us like you treat your brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important to keep
Amen.
answering the call. Like for years, I've been hearing, "Oh, you're the first woman I ever saw come and rap," or blah blah blah. Like I'm fine with that because I know it's important. I've seen those young girls grow up, and now they're poets or rappers, and they're like, "Okay, I mean, I'm from the time when they wouldn't even let guys wear hats in the church. So, and I didn't grow up in the church. So it was all kind of like, why are we doing all this? But because I did poetry, that kind of gave me an inroads. And then I'm like, cool, now you like me because I did a poem. Now let me rap. It's like levels, progression. But yeah, I think it's important to continue, even if it's 20 guys and you're the only woman. I don't think you care, but I'm just reiterating. Who cares what their motive is? There's going to be a young girl in that audience that's going to see you, or a grown woman that's like, man, okay, I never knew this could be a thing. And so I don't care. I don't care why they asked me to come. I know, first of all, I know God wanted me there. Second of all, bump with y'all. Why y'all doing this? If you just fill in the quota, that's fine by me.
Period.
Hey, somebody gotta go first. Just ask Esther, you know what I'm saying? She gotta go first.
Not mine. Opening the door for whoever.
But I just want to add also too, like, I forget who said it, but there's not a gap in quality that I've seen, just based on whether someone's a female artist or not. But I do think that it's imperative that we make sure that we, as women and female artists in the space, that we make sure we do invest, in what it is that's going to maintain our level of presentation and sound quality and things of that nature. Because I would hate for us to have talented young women who never get that look because there's a lack of investment. And so it kind of just goes back to mentorship, I think. And just the ladies that are here tonight, like, we've all had to dispense a large amount of courage to do what we're doing in the spaces we're doing it in. And just being willing to, if there is somebody that God highlights to us, to just be the one that opens the door ourselves. Like right now, I met a young lady, it's 2 years. She's like my little sis. Shout out God's Voice. She's a member of our team that we have a festival that we started together called Red and Black, the Live Experience. And basically we just host our own hip hop deliverance type festivals because we weren't getting on nowhere. And I consider her one of my best friends in the entire world. And every time I have a show, I'm like, you're coming with me, because whatever stage that God opens up for me, I'm like, I'm opening it up for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So being able to take that person that we see in our area under our wing, so to speak, and just being able to mentor them and open the doors that open for ourselves, for other young women that we see. And I know everybody on this right now, that's 100%. I'm speaking to the choir with that. But just anybody else who's watching or will see this later, like, don't be afraid to not just have courage to advocate for your own art, but for others around you, so that they have the proper setup, they have somebody believing in them, speaking life over them, opening doors that they never thought were possible too.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's also important to build your own table, in a sense, for the lack of a better term. People who are in charge of furthering Christian hip hop, like the organizations, etc., it is their responsibility to include the necessary people. Okay. But I think that it's also important not for, as an artist, not to box yourself in, and don't think that you're less than because, oh, I'm not a part of this group, or I didn't get invited to this festival, or I didn't get invited to this, I'm not on this album, or I'm not whatever. Da, 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 da. Use what God has given you. I believe that God has called each and every one of us to a tribe. Now, how big or small your tribe is between you and God. But nurture your tribe, feed your people, whether if you're feeding them through poetry, through rap, through encouragement, through whatever. Feed your people with the gift that God has given you, and they will support you. They will, and even from a business perspective, if they was really business minded, they would put the ladies on the lineup, because women be buying merch. Okay.
All the time.
Women are gonna buy your merch.
Yeah.
They're going to be like a super fan. Even the soccer moms are gonna pull up with their children. Okay. If you just from a business perspective, it's smart to put women on a lineup, because the women are gonna like buy the merch, and then it's gonna make the men want to come. It's like, oh, okay, the ladies are there. Let me go. Let me buy a ticket. You know. But anyways, I think it's very important as an artist in general for you to don't be afraid to build your tribe, whatever that looks like. Now we're living in a generation where there is no quote unquote gatekeepers. There is, to a certain extent, once you get to a certain level, when it gets to like the Grammys or whatever, or like a Met Gala type. But to feed your family, to get the gospel out, to be recognized and awarded for your works or whatever, or even your talent, your gift. Is really no gatekeepers in that. People can blow up overnight on TikTok. So I would just say, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and build your own community.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask a question real quick. With that said, because I wanted to get back to gatekeepers. Do y'all think that there are gatekeepers out there based upon people's denominational beliefs or doctrine?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. From the early 2000s, the reason, when I was in the group, the reason why we charted on the secular side as Christian artists, we were in like R&B, Billboard between Justin Timberlake and Mary J. Blige, was because the Christian side was closing door. We didn't know how to get in. We didn't have contacts. We didn't know anything about that side. So we had friends on the secular side who loved the fact we were doing Christian hip hop, and they were like, cool, we'll show y'all how to navigate from this angle. So as Christian hip hop artists, we were on secular charts because doors were closed to us. We didn't have the options. And so I think it has continued since then. Maybe it's not as obvious now. People aren't as outright to close the door, but I definitely believe it still exists. And even, I have a Grammy right behind me. I've been nominated because I did something on a secular artist song as a Christian. I didn't go seeking that. That's an opportunity God brought me. And I'm not saying every door is closed. I've ministered at many, many churches. I'm all for the kingdom. But I do still believe that gatekeepers exist based on denomination, based on who they like, based on who they want to platform at a certain time. I do think that that is definitely still going on. And if you, for some reason, somebody does not like you, then you will feel that. And it's crazy. I had a conversation with someone, a very influential and popular Christian artist, maybe like a year ago. And he was telling me how many doors had been closed to him. And I was like, I see you everywhere. He's like, trust me, they are not trying to, they're trying to kick me out of this whole space. But what God has for you is for you. And I've seen him, go on to do amazing things. But yeah, it's interesting to watch. I don't, I trust that God will put me where I'm supposed to be. So I don't get too much into it, but I do believe it exists.
Yeah, there's definitely people who are still of the backwards mindset that women shouldn't be on stage, women can't minister, women shouldn't be on a mic, be quiet in church. So yeah, there was a lot of that. I mean, like I said, I started in 2003, but I was 13. So like, wow. So it was like, it was easy to tell me no, like, it's past your bedtime, get out of here. You know what I mean? So that's wild. But then like, you can't tell a 21-year-old that, you know what I mean? So it's just like, there was still resistance. Even the older I got, that excuse died out. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, what's really the issue? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Well, we're against women. And I'm like, oh, wow. That's where we're at in 2010, 16, 20, 26. You feel me? So that, believe it or not, has still been something that I've seen be an issue, whether or not to have women on stage doing anything, ministering in any capacity. So unfortunately, that has been something I've encountered too.
So anybody else?
Yeah, that I can understand where Tyler was coming from, because like you said, that's the early 2000s. That wasn't the age of social media. So it was a little bit more difficult to try to, it was easier to keep people in a place. But like now, to echo what you were saying, you're in the age of social media. It's real hard to like gatekeep anything. Your gate is real raggedy and little, because all it takes is a few people to like hear your joint and blow it up. And I mean, like now it's, it's a viral moment or whatever. But yes, I mean, of course that still exists, but it's real little. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in the sense where I can hop your gate. You can't hold me down now. You know what I'm saying? Like whose talent is not as is not as good, but man, they got the ear of the people and they blow up. And then they're their own gatekeeper. Now they letting people in and out. And I feel like that's where we come in with the whole table, make your own table. Like, be your own gatekeeper. God said go, so go. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel about it. If you don't want me where you are, I don't have to be there. I'm not crying about that. I don't care. Wherever God wants me to be, I'm gonna be there. You better know that. You better know that. That's my attitude about it.
That's good. Yeah, I haven't, by the grace of God, I haven't experienced like any gatekeeping, because you can't tell me no. I'm just like, what you mean? What you mean? I'm outside already. I'm at the gate. Let me in, but I also, like, any place that I ever desired to be, God has always allowed for me to be there. And if he hasn't allowed for me to be there, it wasn't safe for me to be there. Right. So I do believe that to some degree, of course, gatekeeping does exist in some areas in terms of like way up there, in my opinion. I feel like it's like far, like I'm talking about like Rihanna type level, where you have to do something strange for a little piece of change, like then it's like, actually it's okay, you got it,
right,
it's fine, I don't want it that bad, but to get, like I said, to feed your family, to get notoriety, whatever, how you say the word, in order to, get supporters and just really make a name for yourself, you can do that on your own. A lot of artists who are big are trying to figure out how are we doing what we doing.
Yeah.
Like, they got systems, they got labels, they got money, but they don't have it. They don't have that thing that social media can bring. Like, you can't make yourself go viral. You just got, it's a system. You got to kind of work the system. You got to figure it out. And that's really at the hands of anybody. Anybody could do that.
Yeah.
So I do think there is a favoritism when it comes to gospel music. I believe that, and obviously, we love gospel worship, and I'm a worshiper at heart, and we've all been called to worship and created to worship. But I do think that there is favoritism. I believe they look at Christian rap like stepchildren. Like, okay, we see y'all, all right. We see
That
y'all.
was
Good
cute.
job. But
Like hip hop is still for the youth, right?
yeah, it's okay.
Oh,
That's
it's always for
cute.
the youth.
They still making us sit at the kids table. I think.
Yeah, okay. It's like, oh, that's cute.
Crazy,
Okay,
right?
that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. But I feel like now, one thing I have seen a change in last year at the Doves, more Christian rappers were nominated, more Christian like that than I've ever seen. I saw, and I think it was only about three, about a good 3 or 4, maybe 5. I don't know, but it was a lot more. It wasn't just
Damn it.
Lecrae. It was a lot more. I said, look at us doing something. Something is happening. Okay.
It's mostly reach.
So I was like, wow, this is amazing.
That's cool.
So look, I love the diversity. Even this year, I saw some things on the Stellar Awards where it's like a few more Christian rappers are being added. It's like, okay, they getting it. They coming around. So that's exciting to see.
Because I think people from the hip hop era are now elders at the church.
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, they weren't. They were still young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because hip hop is 50 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Like
I can't say this. I know Ty has done some work on that side as well, but like I came initially from the secular side. I was in there at the age of 13, and I mean doing opening up for all of like major artists everywhere, and deals here and deals there. Man, they were so much nicer on that side.
Wow.
I got over here. I said, "Yikes! This ain't the church.
No,
Is this the
for
church?"
real. You would be catty.
Yeah, they were so much nicer. I mean, like I was shooting pool with Juvenile. Me and him had a show, and Juvenile was dancing to my song around a pool table. Did you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, they just showed so much love. And then you get over here, and I'm like, wow,
that's a shame. It should be the opposite. You know what I mean? It should be the opposite.
Complete opposite.
I mean, it's a lot of playing symbols in our space because ain't nobody got love for each other. They got love for attention. They got love for platforms. They got love for themselves. But I think it's time to really, like, at the root of the issue is just showing love to each other because, there's a lot of people that's infatuated with their own ambition. So it's time to really kind of do a self-heart check,
That discipleship is very important. It's very important. Yeah. I mean, I mentor so many women. Yeah. So many women. And some of them had ambitions to come and do music, and I stopped them right in their tracks. You ain't handled this, that, and the third. Now, what do you have to give people? How you gonna pour out of an empty picture? What do you have to give somebody? And then they start seeing what the intricate parts of ministering and living this life, like truly being the light. And they're like, man, I'm so glad I did not go and get a platform. Some have thrown that ambition away altogether. And it was like, nah, I need to get myself together. Right. And I just, man, it is so important that, like Solachi, you were saying it, like, let's get these young women, because they come to us at these shows. It happens every time. They, run up to me, oh my God, this and the third, and I want to buy merch, or where can I find your music? And I love your story. Man, let's take these young girls under our wings because they are going to be us. Yeah, and we don't want them to be a messed up us.
I'm a like politely disagree with that last part. They're gonna be further than us if
Yeah,
we go
absolutely.
find them.
Hmm.
If we go find
I'm
them,
speaking in the sense that they're going to be in our position.
you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. So they're going to be in a position to disciple people, and you don't want them to disciple how they've been discipled if their discipling was raggedy. That's what
Yo,
I'm
Yeah.
speaking about. Like, let's truly
yeah,
disciple these girls because one day they'll be us. They'll be the ones discipling people, and you want them to disciple people the way Jesus said that they ought to. So
yeah.
when they get on stage, they talking their talk. They're making an impact, right? And for real, like and men do the same. You know, men. I love what everybody is doing, but I'm just saying, like, I like in women, it's just the heart that God gave women. Man, women got some passion, and we can make some impact. And I
Man,
believe that's why the devil wants to keep us in a place. Does that make
Mm.
sense? Like
uh-oh.
So you start talking about that, man. Look what happened. Look what happened.
Man, all
see
I
what I'm
was gonna
saying?
add to that was
I feel it. I feel you.
Yeah.
I
I'm
didn't even
gonna
hear
cut
what
you
you
off, and
said,
you
man.
were talking. You were
Yeah.
talking that talk.
Not for real. Everybody talk about all of these women in the Bible, but Hannah's one of the women that's so easily forgotten. Hannah was somebody who went through something that I like none of us on this call as women would ever dream about going through. She couldn't bear children, but her husband's concubine could. And not only could her husband's concubine bear children, but she taunted her because she could.
Mhm.
And she couldn't. And instead of Hannah fighting with the woman like we would have, because don't come at me with that. But
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? But like
Because why
she
you here in
didn't.
the first place,
Why
concubine?
are you here? You
Let's start
secondary
there.
anyhow. Yeah. But she didn't go to her husband and act a fool. She didn't go to the concubine and act a fool.
Mhm.
Hannah said, I'm gonna go to the Lord with my petitions.
Yes.
And so much that her husband had to come to her and say, "What's wrong? Am I not better than you than 10 sons?" And
Mm.
that's not the point, you know. But
Right.
and then they was like, "Oh, you know, the priest Eli, are you drunk?
You drunk?
Drunk? I'm talking to the Lord." You
That was
know, but
crazy
this woman
accusation.
literally did everything in secret, and God rewarded her openly. And I felt like,
Wow.
man, and I feel like women in general, especially in the Christian rap space, that's how we live our lives. I don't see everybody post, and I don't, I'm just getting in contact, just knowing Ty, and I see Porsha sometimes, but I don't see us posting our lives. Solochi, I don't see, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know you was getting married. You know what I'm saying?
No, that
And
was
you just
quite on
popped
her.
up and was like,
Not
dun,
a
dun, dun,
soul.
dun.
I ain't telling
But
nobody.
not that's real though. Like you don't see us out here like just putting our business out there, but then you just pop up with something that God got for you. You know what I'm saying? So like I
Mhm.
feel like that's what's needed. Like let's do it in secret, pray in secret, and God rewarding us openly. And that's just what I'm seeing. But it's God and God's timing. Everything will just, doors will open, gates will open. Because we're at the end. Everybody know that we're at the end. Satan's
Mhm.
time is short, and God know it. Satan know it, and he's trying his best to hold us back, but he can't. If God said go, we on go.
Yes.
Man, what a sermon. Like honestly, I just wanted 300% agree with you, sis. All I wanted to say on the end of that was just another example of in the word that just popped out to me. Like Joshua was able to take Jericho because he saw what Moses did. And so being able to see like, okay, this man is petitioning for the whole nation of Israel. Like, what does that look like? Are we petitioning for our other sisters in the
Man,
faith? Are we taking things that we see, like we're talking about with Hannah, not taking it to the fight to people, you know what I'm saying? Although Porsha 100% agree with you, like don't keep doing what
oh
you're doing.
yeah, we ain't talking about that.
Right. Keep
Oh
doing
yeah,
what
I wasn't gonna stop doing that.
He's
you
fighting a
know
good fight.
regardless.
I got to
You
let them
know,
know.
You know what I'm saying?
Put somebody on it, please.
keep it up. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying?
I
But just
got your
being able
back
to say
too.
like, are
Thank
No,
we
you.
for real.
are we taking our petitions? You know what I'm saying? Are we able to replicate after our own kind?
Yeah.
Are we able to take cities down because we got people that watched us escape from Egypt? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That's good, ladies. Hey, listen, this has been a great conversation. Appreciate y'all come through and just sharing your heart with us. We're definitely gonna wrap this thing up real quick, but let's just kind of go around and share a final thought. Give us your information, how we can find you, and all that good stuff.
Okay, I'll go first. You can find me on any social media platform at I am Porsha Love. It's PORSHA LOVE. My last remarks is shout out to all of the ladies who doing what God has called them to do. I want to encourage everyone to faint not. That's something that the Lord has just been laying heavy on my spirit in this season, is to faint not. Don't get weary in well doing, because in due season you will reap the harvest that God has for you. Amen. Faint not. Shout out to all my brothers who have consistently supported what God is doing and has done. There are a plethora of men, definitely the good outweighs the bad in my life. And I just, want to honor those men who definitely has put me on, who God has used to help further my career in any capacity. I am forever grateful for that. So this is a great discussion, and I'm excited to see what the Lord will do with the next generation of women. But I know it's going to start with us putting our foot down and making sure that we are advocating for them.
Oh,
Very similar to Porsha. Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at I am Ty Scott King. I definitely, like Porsha said, am grateful for every person who's ever opened a door. Thank you to DJ Noble, of course. We got queued up out right now, making waves. And I know the scripture was brought up earlier, but one of the first scriptures that God showed me before I even had a career or a ministry was that your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men. And I think about that scripture all the time. And as we continue to lay down everything before him, he's the one who gave us the gift. So of course he's going to open every door that he sees fit. So I'm grateful for all the women who have gone before me, all the women who are on the panel with me today, and all the women that are coming behind us. Like, we are a force to be reckoned with. And if we just continue to remember that God has given us gifts and talents, there's really no limit to what he can do through us. And of course, shout out to the guys. I have a husband, so I gotta at least shout him out. But all the other men who have been super dope. And as we've all said, we've had those guys in our corner who have been protective of us and covered us. But my encouragement to any male watching this, if you are in a position where you're putting anything together, just look at the flyer. And if you don't see a woman, ask yourself why you have not put a woman on there yet. And just dig deeper until you put a woman on there, at least one.
Yes. Or I'm going to be in your comments.
I'm going to send you the post.
For your DM.
Send it to you.
Hey, I'm like,
thank you.
Thank you. Porsha.
Just tag me. That's what you got to do.
They doing it again.
I've been tagging you all day, so I guess I just need to start saying something. Yeah. Otherwise, you never get rest, because I see it all the time.
Well, you can find me. I'm only on 2 social media platforms, IG and TikTok, at VerbPro124. Man, I just really want people to slow down. My final thought is just slow down. Don't be so in a rush to get a platform with your life being in a mess. God is outside of time. It's not too late for you. Man, God put me here in 23 where I was 36. I'm 38 now. Well, I was 35. But it's not too late. His gifts are given without repentance. So he's not going to take it back. You don't have to hurry up and go get a platform. There is no glorifying God if God didn't put you there. I don't care what you're doing. So, man, just slow down to the next generation. I see a lot of young people coming up. But it's a bit wild. You see, in some spaces, but it's a bit wild. And man, let's just make sure God is glorified in our lives. What's for you, God has for you. And can't nobody take it away. Like he said, the secret things belong to the Lord, and what he reveals is yours and for your generations forevermore. Can't nobody take it away from you. So slow down. Whatever plans God had for you, he is not going to take them away. Time is not going to end without it happening. Man, slow down. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to be discipled by a true Bible believing Christian, so that your music or what you're doing makes an impact. And you bring up people, like people are following you as you follow Jesus, because that's what this all is about. Like, no matter, I don't care about none of this stuff. If people not following me as I follow Jesus, then I've done nothing. I have not glorified God. And don't think that because this particular thing comes with a mic and ears and people raising their hands, that this is what you ought to go after. Man, allow God to tell you what he wants you to do. Maybe you're supposed to be somebody's manager. Maybe you're supposed to be an elder in a church or wherever. But I feel like everybody's flocking to this genre, this Christian rap genre, because it's so easy to get here. But man, if God didn't put you here, you're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be frustrated because doors will not be open, and that's because of God. But if he put you here, I promise you, doors will be open, and you will be in rooms that you don't feel like you belong in. So just slow down and let God take control. Like, let him order your footsteps. He said the steps of a righteous man are ordered. Let him do it.
Amen.
Good stuff.
Amen. And you can also find me. I am on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Solachi Voz, Solachi space V as in victory, OZ. And my last thought would just be yourself, be authentic. Don't try to copy anybody. Just make sure that the voice that you're using is yours, that God is giving you. My name translates the blessed voice of the Son. And so that means I have to understand who gave me my voice, who I use my voice for, and who hears it. And so being somebody that understands that I'm very versatile when it comes to my styles, that doesn't mean that my message changes. So make sure, if you're an artist, creative, whatever you do, of course, like everybody's echoed here, that you do it to the glory of God, but just make sure that it's the voice that you're given. Don't chase trends, don't chase, popularity, virality, none of that stuff. Don't let what you think will happen as far as sales or promotion or any of that stuff get in the way of what your assignment is. Your calling stays the same, your assignment can change. So just be open to hearing the voice of the Lord in what you're doing, and give him glory always. And like I said earlier, it's a privilege to know everybody on this call. And I'm looking forward to building with y'all, even if it's just leaving encouragement, social media. I'm open. I just want to let y'all ladies know, and also you, DJ Noble. But it's always an open door over this way. So let me know how I can best support what y'all got moving.
And thank you for having us, like, for real. Like, thank you for
You're
opening up the mic for us to have a voice.
Oh yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Always. I appreciate y'all for accepting the invite. So that meant a lot to me too. And I feel like people need to hear your voice, because there's a lot of things that y'all revealed today that I didn't know. I was kind of ignorant of it because I don't see the things that y'all see. I don't experience the things that y'all experience. So I thought it was important for people to know. So thank y'all for sharing your voice tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in too. You can check us out off the grid, ICE. ICE stands for Indies Collective Entertainment. For those that want to know, that's what it means. All right. So especially in this day and age, people get kind of twisted. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Indies Collective Entertainment.
No.
Yes.
Hey,
So
yo,
I'm gonna
Porsha,
add
did
DJ Noble
you
IT.
see he had you looking like Keisha on the?
Oh no. Okay, so that's
I
why I
didn't
got
see
a
you.
wife. All right, so here we go.
Nah, I gotta tell you, it's
we'll
my
leave it.
story. It's my story.
All right.
Sis,
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Ty was looking all
Let's do
right.
this.
Solachi was looking
This,
like
this is supposed to
herself.
be off the air, but we'll leave it here.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
please, sorry.
He said that's a
Hey,
wrap.
hey, let me preface by saying this though. This is why I have a wife. Let me
Oh
preface
my
with that. So
goodness.
this is why I need the ladies in my life to, well, my lady in my life. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Yo,
Hey, good
you see
thing,
how
bro.
light skinned I am? Hey, I was a dark skinned grandma on the promotional thing, right?
Oh, I
And
didn't see
but
it.
sis,
It was up for
bad.
like 3 minutes.
I said
Wow.
my name is Verb. I haven't been teaching verbs for 40 years. I look like somebody is a black school teacher. And then I looked to my left and Porsha looked like Keisha. I said,
Wow.
who is Keish? That's not Porsha.
Quiche.
So you can blame Chat GPT and Ty. I think you can relate with that one too, because
Man,
we were trying to figure out a cover for the single that we dropped, and
Yeah.
Ty rejected everything I sent to her.
man, we just trying to get
Like,
on the flyer. We can
form or-
edit it later. Like, let's just get on it. You know what I mean?
Like, yo, I was like, I'm done. I tried to get a
I feel you, Ty.
cartoonist to draw, and she was like, nah, that's not good enough. So
it didn't look like me, and when it looked like me, it didn't look like you. It wasn't working.
Yeah, nah. And
yeah, it's all
looking at
good.
her now, that flyer didn't look like her either.
It didn't.
Wow.
It really didn't.
Solachi
really
was
didn't.
the only safe one, y'all. We was
Hey,
looking
man.
like,
That did look like her. It did.
yeah.
I
don't know what happened.
Where somebody spray painted my hair, and yo, it was crazy.
That is hilarious.
I said paint application.
Yo,
My
I had to hit him up
apologies.
immediately. I was like, I'm not sharing this.
I was ready to go work out and do
Fix it,
something
please.
else. And then so what I did was I showed my wife. She said, let me see that. Because I really didn't pay attention. Like, I was just like, oh, I got it done. Boom, I'm going to post it. Bam, we're done. Let's go. And my wife looked at it. She said, no.
Quickly.
Quickly. I shut it down. I deleted it. I was like, it took her like 3 hours to kind of figure it out, but she got it done. So
That is funny.
you could thank her
Shout out
for
to her.
Shout out to wifey. Woo!
Wife's Connie, yep.
This is
See
why
why y'all
we
need
need
women?
That's why we need y'all. That's
Women
why
in
we need
STEM.
y'all in every single space.
You know?
Fellas,
Yes.
y'all ain't getting it. We need them. Hey,
Yes.
I will say
We
this
need
real
each
quick.
other.
I like what the Craze said, Porsha, on your project. You did that little phone thing. You talked about
Yes.
y'all being not just a face, not just being there, but you guys are, I said guys, you ladies are essential. I love what you had to say.
Yeah.
Y'all are
Yes.
essential to what we're doing to the kingdom of God and to CHH. Y'all are essential. That's the essence of why I brought y'all here. And
Shout out
I'm
to
glad
all the
y'all
men that
accepted.
know that, for real.
Oh yeah, that was dope. I was like, yeah, okay. That was deep.
Hallelujah.
That was dope. But again, thank you, ladies. Thank y'all for checking out Off the Grid. Y'all can see this again. It'll be replayed and edited and all that good stuff. But until then, I got a pretty dope artist coming up next week. I'll let y'all know later though. Just getting all the confirmations done. I think we got it. Everything's good to go. I just gotta make sure I get off work for that one. So when it's official, I'll let y'all know. Till next time, we out here, y'all.
Bye.